Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Frankfurt Motor Show is going to be the debut for this machine, the brand new Honda Civic Tourer Active Life Concept. Now this particular machine is basically just it's a Civic state wagon, but this thing is for the active lifestyle. You know, the lifestyle that I live: running, biking, swimming. Yeah, I was thinking of somebody else. That being said, the new Active Life concept comes with a 1.6 liter diesel that's a manual transmission option only, but you can go for a 1.8 liter gasoline version that gets an automatic or a manual option. Now, this vehicle is for the active lifestyle. The pod up north of the vehicle, up on the roof, is actually set up for a lot of compartments. You can keep rock climbing gear, whatever you so desire inside of that. And the back end of the vehicle is accepting of two full-blown bicycles that actually have to be broken down a tad bit. But still, that being said, neat-looking automobile. It will debut at the Frankfurt Motor Show. Don't know if this vehicle will go on sale or not. They may be looking for a little bit of people's reaction to this machine, to whether this vehicle will actually see the light of day in production. Next up on the list, another vehicle that will be shown off the Frankfurt Motor Show is this vehicle. This vehicle actually debuted at the Goodwood Revival. This is the Caterham Superlight 20. Now, the 20 actually stands for the 20 years since the original Caterham Superlight came in the mid-1990s. This particular version's got a number of cool little tricks up its sleeve. 1.6 liter, normally aspirated 4-cylinder, making 135 brake horsepower. That's run through a 6-speed, close ratio manual gearbox. Now, the weight of the machine is pretty lightweight. 498 kilograms, or just a touch over 1,000 pounds, 1,098 to be exact. And a lot of that's done through all the silver panels are just bare aluminum. Those are actually done, and they apparently an extra 13 pounds was saved by not painting those panels. Not to mention all the black panels are naked carbon fiber. Again, saving weight by not painting those particular panels. The vehicle will be able to do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds thanks to the monster grip from that limited slip rear differential. Not to mention it'll do 122 miles an hour. This vehicle will go on sale in Europe for £29,995, or the equivalency of $46,300 in the US. We'll know more about this come the Frankfurt Motor Show. Next up on the list, we've talked about this machine in the past. This is the brand new Rezvani Beast Speedster. Now, you've probably seen this vehicle before because the original Beast version actually came out several months ago. I don't think I actually talked about it on this particular program. This vehicle comes with a supercharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder, slip behind a close ratio 6-speed manual gearbox. It makes 300 brake horsepower and 225 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in at 3.5 seconds. Now, the vehicle is a lightweight machine, being only 750 kilograms or 1,650 pounds. Will be going on sale in Europe for the equivalency of $139,000 US. Now, there's a trick too. The Beast that we talked about, that the Speedster is actually the little brother of, it gets all that same stuff except for that 2.4 liter blown 4-cylinder actually makes 500 brake horsepower, and it's going to cost you an extra $26,000 US to actually own that particular machine. We'll know a whole lot more when this vehicle comes out at the Frankfurt Motor Show just in a couple of days. Next up on the list, the Ford GT shows up in the news again, as apparently this thing has made its video game debut in Turn 10's brand new video game, Forza Motorsport 6. And apparently they're showing specific details on the amount of power this machine is going to be putting out, which has yet to be released from the Ford Motor Company. Forza Motorsport 6 claims that the vehicle is going to make 630 brake horsepower and 539 pounds-feet of torque out of that 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 EcoBoost mount that's mounted mid-shift inside of the machine. Again, these aren't official Ford numbers, but I'm assuming Turn 10 knows about what this vehicle is going to be making. So if these aren't dead on, they're very, very close to what these are going to be. Next up on the list, we talked about this chap on the show before. This is the brand new lead host of the new BBC Top Gear, Chris Evans. Well, apparently we've got a little bit more light shining on just who exactly is going to be alongside him presenting BBC's brand new Top Gear. And it's going to be a person, well, apparently they've got their big hands, at least BBC really wants a woman in the presenter role in this deal, and that's this young lady. This is Zoe Ball. Now, in an interesting little situation, I misread her name at first and saw Zoe Bell, who actually is a movie star and slash stunt woman, and did a massive amount of research before I realized I was dead wrong on this deal. Now, Miss Zoe Ball here, she's actually been a fixture on British television for, gosh darn, over 20 years, since the mid-90s. She's actually done a lot of radio work as well. In fact, latest updated radio stuff has been fill-in host for when Chris Evans is off his particular morning breakfast talk show. That being said, apparently Miss Ball and Mr. Evans have an amazing amount of chemistry, which is really what it's going to take to make this new Top Gear program really fly. So they got a good chemistry together. This may be a very good situation between these two, but we're still waiting on that third presenter that's going to be announced for that brand new Top Gear franchise. And this is a little bit of what my thinking is behind this deal, because I would have assumed, now here we are in the middle part of September, that this deal would already be done. These three folks would already be announced, and they would be well on their way to making new programming, especially for the fact that they claim that April of 2016, the new Top Gear will debut on BBC television. Which got me thinking that quite possibly this show may take a little bit of a hit in the financial situation as far as their budgeting part of it. Not to mention the epic road trips that they've done all over the world, that quite possibly, at least in the first year, they may really be doing something to try to keep them inside of the continent of Europe to actually do a bunch of that filming, because it takes a massive amount of time, sometimes up to 2 months just to make one special program. So this is a deal where they're really cutting it close. Again, they're really wanting to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. You don't want to have 3 presenters come in and then basically have to replace 1 or 2 of them after the first season is over. You want these people to be in it for the long haul. And I think this show could be really great, but it'll be interesting to see just how much they may pull back, because they're really running out of the time for that April 2016 release date. Last up on the list is an interesting little story I thought was pretty doggone funny. Just thought I had to share it. It has to do with the folks over at Jaguar, even though they're not a real part of the story, at least till the end. Apparently now, school's starting all over the world, and apparently a couple of 5-year-olds in Russia apparently didn't care for kindergarten after being in for a couple of days and hatched themselves a little plan. They went into the schoolyard during recess, got some actual shovels out of the sandbox, and went and tunneled their way out of kindergarten. Yes, they dug a hole where they could dig down and escape kindergarten out from underneath a fence. They were actually unsupervised for upwards around 30 minutes and actually made it almost a mile away to a local Jaguar dealership, where they were found roaming the lot looking for an automobile. When someone approached them, asked them what they were doing, they said that they were looking for a grown-up car, but they didn't think they were going to have the down payment for it. That being said, the authorities were called and they were shuttled back to the kindergarten. Assuming those kids are under some heavy surveillance now, that they are a proven escape risk of the old. I think these kids are right up my alley. Go buy a new Jaguar and take off, get out of school. I think these kids were thinking up right, but may see a couple of ex-cons in their future, quite possibly. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.